Every year my city puts together what they call a neighborhood cleanup day. What they do is they bring these big dumpsters out and they drop them off at random places throughout the neighborhood, and you get to come home real quickly and take all that trash you've been hoarding and throw it in the bins, and it magically disappears the next day. Well, to some people, myself included, this is known as dumpster diving day, or pickin' day, or scrapping day, or if you answer to a higher power, it's don't you dare bring that shiz home. Well, when I see these bins out in the street, my eyes get wide and my heart starts beating fast, because I know that some people throw away stuff that I can't even remotely consider garbage. I will tell you, and here's my disclaimer, this can be risky, it can be dangerous. You typically have to do this at night because it's probably illegal, and it's possibly addictive depending on what you find. This can lead to white trash syndrome. This is where your neighbors look at you in disgust, they don't want to talk to you, and if it gets too bad, there's an anonymous phone call placed to the city and people show up asking about your collection of relics and antiques that you've got going in the backyard. If it gets that bad, well, you probably deserve to have someone bring it to your attention. So I did pretty good this year, and I'm going to show you a couple of the things that I found. So let's get rolling. So here's the first beauty I found. Now this thing is in really good shape because I've already gone through the process of fixing it. When I first found it, this joint right here was bent, so these wheels and this axle was all cockeyed and crazy. So I straightened that out, welded a little bar across here to add some support because that metal had been stressed and started to crack. So did some tack welds there, put a brace in there, gave it a quick paint job, and it works like a champ. Probably took me 10-15 minutes or so in total to bring this thing back to life. Not too bad. So here's the second item that I found. I call this Humpty Dumpty, but I was able to put him back together again. Obviously you can see that this is another spreader for fertilizer, and the only thing that was wrong with this is it had some cracks in the plastic. So I took some Gorilla Glue, some zip ties, put it all back together, gave it a wash job and a paint job, and this thing's ready to roll. So the best find of the night, one which really shocked me, and I had no idea what the score was going to be. This is a Craftsman 2200 PSI power washer with the 4.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton. When I first saw this in the dumpster, I thought, this thing has to be toast. The engine has to be seized, something has to be wrong with that. Why would anybody throw this in the dumpster besides the fact that it was dirty and needs some TLC? Well, to my amazement, got it home, checked the oil. And away she went. Second pull. After I realized this thing ran, I took it out, hooked it up to a hose, and it would take water just fine, but I couldn't get anything to come out of the nozzle. So I figured something is probably wrong with the pump, that part that sits down here. So I've watched a couple of YouTube stations, a couple of YouTube videos, and they've gone through and rebuilt these, cleaned them up. I suspect that it's probably just corrosion or something to do with the valves that are underneath. Seems like a pretty straightforward and relatively simple fix. So I'm going to give that a shot, and if it works, I'm going to have another power washer that I can probably put up for sale. Don't need two of them right now. If it doesn't work, then I'll have a nice Briggs & Stratton 4.5 horsepower motor, and I'll have to find something cool to do with that. Anyway, that was my night of dumpster diving. I'd say it was a pretty good evening and overall a success. Thanks for watching. Take care.